More of us
Yeah,
went
yeah.
out, so yeah.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
good.
So how was the food? Was it good?
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
Squire, is that what it's called?
Oh, the Squire?
Squire
Oh,
and the
and
Square.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll move on to business things. I call the meeting of the McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The purpose for our hearing today is application Z25-0029. The applicant is Prairie View Investments LLC. The PIN number associated with this application is 1417480-021. The address is 3004 Walkup Road, Crystal Lake, and the request is for an A1 agricultural district to R1 residential district. The subject property is just over 2 acres and is located on the east side of Walkup Road, approximately 210 feet south of Running Iron Drive in Nunda Townships. I will have the Zoning Board of Appeals members introduce themselves and the township in which they reside, starting on my left.
Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Township.
Charlie Eldridge, Richmond Township.
I'm Linnea Kustra in Alden Township.
Vicki Gardner, Nunda Township.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Jessica Beverly, Door Township.
This petition has been reviewed and the following items have been received prior to today's scheduled hearing. The publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper is dated March 12, 2025, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The affidavit of posting was signed and date posted was March 11, 2025, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. Affidavit of mailing was signed and date mailed was March 10, 2025, also meets ordinance requirements. Survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all three match. The filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition, and the McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received. This would be NRI L250094670. Okay, the petitioner is here. So how the hearing works, you'll present your evidence to us. This is quasi-judicial hearing. So you'll present your evidence, we'll ask you questions, then staff will give their report, and you can present closing argument, and then we'll vote. Okay, so if I will swear in anyone who will be giving testimony, please raise your right hand. Do you affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so if you would introduce yourself, and then you could go ahead and give us your testimony.
My name is Adrian Owen. I own Prairie View Investments LLC. The property actually is, I would say, adjacent. I'm across the street on the other side of Walkup. So
Where you live?
Yeah, where I live. And the site has been quite a eyesore for quite a long time. That's why I decided to see if I could purchase it. It had, over the time that I lived here, I moved here in 2016, originally from overseas and back to here. And during that time, there's been people living in a van, garbage everywhere. And then once I purchased the property, some things would be stolen. I don't know where they got stolen, and then I even had to file a police report about a month and a half ago with Crystal Lake Police Department because somebody was trespassing and going on the property. So the property I see has a lot of potential, which I've actually started to do myself. Everything I've done myself to this point. Yesterday I just finished up. If you look on the map there, the greenhouse is gone. The house was not like this. It was a house that was under a fire previously. So there was all demolished. And the way that happened was the police department, not the police department, the fire department determined that it was over 50% damaged or something at the time. And the one thing what was a little odd from the history is somehow Nunda Township actually used a backhoe to demolish it. So it was all scattered and a very big project. And yesterday I finally finished. So the house is all gone, and then there was another building, it's all gone. So now it's an open property and cleaned up to this point. So what I would like to do is, and what happened is once the fire department determined that it would be taken down due to the fact that they considered 50%, over 50%, I'm not able to build on this property as a A1 agricultural land. So I thought, and I talked a lot with Anna to find out what I could do, and I decided to try to rezone it to be R1, just like my property across the street and a lot of adjacent properties near it. And with the idea of looking to maybe build one or maybe two, or depending, I'm still looking into how that all works, but there's different regulations for the length of the road distance, and then I've already talked to the highway, I've talked to all the different departments to figure out what the future of this project could be. And also talked with the neighbors, some of the neighbors who've been there, most of them been there like 40 years, especially the property right behind, and then the property which is also an A1 property south of it. So, yeah, so I would like to rezone it to R1. That's my main purpose here at this point, and then we go from there.
So in your application, you had to address some approval standards for the map amendment, which you did. And you also gave like a summary on your request. Would you like that included in your testimony today? As part of the hearing. Okay. All right, we'll start with questions on my right. Ms. Beverly.
I have no questions.
Mr. Schnabel.
Same for me.
Ricky. Ms. Gardner.
I have just a couple. I actually saw the lot this morning.
Does it look better?
It looks amazing. You've done a fantastic
I've
job.
done it all myself.
As I was looking, I was wondering if this was a one-man job or
It
if there
is.
was a crew that came in, because it looks very clean.
Yeah,
It really does.
it's all me, yeah.
And I live right off of Edgewood, so.
Okay. Oh, so you know.
Yeah, this is on my way, so.
So thank you.
So are
Appreciate
you planning on building a new house on there?
Depending on what I can possibly do, because I looked into either splitting the lot, maybe building two, because it's like I said, it's literally adjacent across the street.
Yeah.
So if I do build any properties, I would be able to watch and maintain them, and I think I do a pretty good job on my house as well. So yeah, I would be looking to build houses on there.
Okay, so you're building them to sell them? You're doing this as an investment, or are you planning on living there?
Most likely, it's more like I have two kids. Potentially, first would be rental, and then potentially my kids could decide if they want to live there. They're both 16 and 18, so something more like, in a sense, they have a little split, and they could potentially have the houses if I don't continue to rent them out. Yeah. So.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Eldridge.
I have one question that is purely curiosity. It is particularly relevant to the case. You've finished cleaning up the demolition. Does that mean you've removed the foundations as well?
The foundation, you mean, what do you mean by the foundation?
The foundation to the house, the foundation to the other building you've demolished?
Yeah, I've taken out. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just bare dirt at this point?
Bare dirt. The only thing what's actual of anything that is left, they didn't have a typical sewer or anything. There was the old from...
Septic field.
Not a septic field, more like...
A tank?
like a hole in the ground.
Might I suggest a cistern?
Yeah, it was kind of like a cistern, yeah. I wanted to say cistern, but it's kind of a little different because cistern usually, the old cisterns had a dome top inside, but this one did not. But there was two, and those are filled
That's
in.
how old they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that filled it. The only thing was, has any potential is the well looked like it's still usable. The well is the only thing I saw
A
that.
hand dug well or a pipe?
No, it's a pipe gun.
Okay.
But I don't know how many feet or anything else at this time.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's been, I took, there was a little building, if you see to the bottom, which is hard to see, but there was a little barn, and that had, what happened, one thing about this guy, the people who lived there, I think he was a concrete layer, so he laid concrete everywhere. There was lots and lots of concrete. The first thing I ever seen the other day, first in my life, and I've done a lot of work, I seen concrete on top of wood. First time for anything. So all been removed. Yeah.
Okay, like I said, that's just curiosity.
Ms. Donner?
It's like Curse of Oak Island all over. You don't know where you're gonna find the wood and have the concrete too, where they filled it in. No, I have no questions at this time.
Mr. Cozen?
Thank you. Just a quick run-through of the land uses to the east of your property
Yeah.
as well as to the north. The
Okay.
immediate and adjoining, that's as far as the description needs to be.
The what?
Immediate and adjoining, no need to cross the streets. The adjoining lot to the east and the property immediately
Okay,
to the
I'm
north.
trying to think east and west here. Okay.
So, Anna Kurtzman for the record, senior planner. The east is that gray
Okay.
that's next to your property there.
You mean on the backside, the E13?
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, there you go.
Edith's place. I talked to her. What would you like to know about her?
Not about her,
Oh,
about the
about-
land use. I mean, is it an occupied parcel, a vacant parcel?
Well,
Is there trees?
Well, everything, I tried to keep as many trees as I could that were, and the adjacent property behind me was part of a whole farm.
Nice.
So actually, which I found out through old thing, is actually my property across the street and that were actually a farm on both sides. So there's a silo and a footing of an old barn and lots and lots of little buildings between and little, everything was a lot of stuff on my side of the property and on the other side of the property. But as of now, she told me that she has, there's no buildings or there's nobody building back there. There's nothing
And then the parcel to the north, or two parcels to the north?
to the north. You mean, let's see here.
To the top.
To the top, okay. The parcel, one is an older gentleman to the right. That parcel has a house. It's an old gentleman who's been there for 40 years. And I actually helped him take out some of his trees because I can do that with a cleated backhoe. And the other one is a house with a big garage. I talked to that neighbor. It seems like there is I won't say like a new start on life type people living there. I don't know what but there's
I think we know him. He's been here.
No, okay. But he didn't know that was A1 land. Yeah, so, but there's a house, so what that one is a house with renters, with a group of people change quite a bit there, like quite often, but then there's a garage to it, which I guess the owner does his projects out of, so.
Not to get too deep in the weeds, the county in 2009 acquired a portion of the right-of-way.
Yeah.
Have you had any further discussions with the county highway department concerning the further acquisition or extraction
Right.
for the right-of-way, thereby diminishing the overall lot area?
Right, I went to the commission, I even have the layout, which is what, I think, think he gave it to me.
No,
Oh, okay.
just a conversation, did you have a kind, you were aware?
Yeah, I had a conversation, I understood how much footage I will lose and everything, but overall with the locations where if I do plan to build houses would be far enough from the road, which gives it an ample, it would actually be the house which would be north, you know, what you said, north and where that group home is, they would lose a lot of footage. I mean, they would have no driveway. But because I haven't built anything, I think it won't be an issue for me because I have a longer, deep lot, so.
I have no further questions, and thank you for the time.
I have no questions, so I'll turn it over to Anna. Do you have questions, or else you give your report?
No questions at this time. Again, for the record, my name is Anna Kurtzman, Senior Planner. So the subject property is currently zoned A1. There is A1 agriculture directly to the north. There is E3 to the east. There is E1 to the south. There's R1 to the west and to the northeast. So it is touching R1 in that northeast corner there. And across the street is R1, as I said. Surrounding land uses, the area has developed predominantly with single-family residential uses. Our land use map does continue to show some agricultural properties in the area and a couple of vacant properties as well. The future land use map is showing this area as developing as residential. The request for the R1 does meet the minimum requirements for both the lot frontage and lot size. It is consistent with the future land use map and is reasonably in line with the zoning in the area. As such, staff has no concerns with the request.
Madam Chairman.
Anna, can you tell me why there's unincorporated little packets right there still?
Because the people who own those have not petitioned the municipality for annexation.
Anybody else have questions? Mr.
Sorry.
Posen.
Sorry, just as a follow-up, any comments from either Bull Valley, or Prairie Grove, or Crystal Lake?
No comments from any of the municipalities or any other local government.
Any other questions? Okay, do you have a closing statement?
Not really. I think I pretty much summarized everything that I could, and I'm always open to questions and to answer them. But the main point is to clean up the place and match the living area. You know, nothing drastic or anything like that. You know, match the landscape. That's the main point. So.
Okay, then at this time, we'll close the hearing portion and we'll move on to the voting portion for this petition Z25-0029.
Madam Chairman, I move acceptance of the petition.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this petition. Discussion, Mr. Eldridge?
Yes, this is a roughly 2-acre parcel that historically had a single-family house on it in an area that over the last 40 or 50 years has become almost entirely residential in terms of land use and is surrounded really by single-family homes. There are a few lots that are still unincorporated. Most of them are incorporated in one or another community. And there is varying zoning in the area other than residential, largely A1 and A2 from a historical perspective, not particularly from a current land use perspective. This is not suited for agriculture. This is really not suited for anything except a typical residential use, which is apparently what the petitioner desires. I am mildly surprised that petitioner hasn't done a subdivision of the parcel to get the maximum number of lots out of it, which probably would be 3 if he really pushed it, but 2 would be pretty easy. At the same time, but I'm always happy to vote in favor of something that is a little less intense use, if that is what the petitioner wants. I think he may come to a desire of having at least 2 lots on the parcel before he starts constructing, but that is entirely up to him. This is an entirely appropriate use that he is requesting in an area that everyone who's looked at it in the last 20 years has determined should be single-family residential. And for all of the foregoing reasons, and a bunch that I don't need to go into, I support the petition.
Ms. Gardner.
I agree with Mr. Eldridge. It just seems, completely reasonable to put residential on this property. And I'm grateful that somebody found the property and wanted to do something with it, because I've lived there 20 years and I've bought it for 20 years. So I'm definitely in favor.
Mr. Cozen.
Thank you. The pattern of development, as has been described, has been set out in this area as far back as 1954. It appears that the boundaries as proposed are consistent with those outlined in the zoning ordinance of the county. And I wish the best of success to the applicant in him going through the regulations and the building code to get the highest and best use of this property as he brought it before us. I thank you for the opportunity.
Mr. Schnabel.
I agree completely with everything that's been said.
Ms. Beverly.
I agree. I'm in support.
Ms. Donner.
I would be foolish to disagree. Nothing like being the fool on the hill. No, I am in complete agreement. Thank you.
And I agree with my colleagues, and I think it's great that you live across the street and you just thought this property needs to be looking better, and so I just think it's going to be a great asset to the community to have it changed. So I'll call for the vote. Mr. Eldridge?
May I, point of order here? Maybe I missed it, but I did not hear anyone say that it met the standards.
Yes, it does meet the standards.
I'll concur.
Thank you. I'd like to hear it explicitly stated. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Ms. Beverly?
Yes.
Ms. Donner?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so this will go to the county board 7-0 approval.
Thank you.
I know, I'm a stickler when it comes to things like
That's
that.
I appreciate that.